In this video, we will continue to talk about animation, interaction, and other tools that we can use in Unreal Engine 5. I'm going to use this scene to start with, which is an interior scene, just to have an ambientation, and then I'm going to use some characters. So I'm going to create these ArcViz interior design level, but again, this is already available in the marketplace. So if you go in the Unreal Engine marketplace, as we learned how to do many times here in the video course. So if you go in the marketplace, you can go in the free content. You will find here the free content from the month, or also permanent free collection and other stuff that we can use. So this one here, it's called, so you can search it and find it. This one here is called the real-time ArcViz asset pack. So you can just download it and then create the project just by clicking here in your library, and that's gonna create the project essentially. And this is the page, so you can see all the information here. You can use these as usual to study how the level was made and how the lights is set up and so on. Now this was created in the previous version of Unreal Engine, so you need to convert it if you want to use the maximum capacity of Unreal Engine 5. So let's just press play so we can see that it's a really good scene. It's really realistic. The light is too bright probably, so you need to adjust the exposure in the post-process volume and things that we already saw previously. So I'm just gonna use it again as a background to bring in some characters, but just want to show you essentially how you can insert animated things into levels. And by animated things, we can use a chair or any other static mesh in the scene, and we can animate in Unreal Engine as we saw before, or we can create a skeletal mesh. Now we always used static mesh so far, and you can see also the scene has a lot of decals and a lot of details. You may want to give a look and study how this was made, because this looks pretty realistic. But we are going to work with skeletal mesh. So we worked with static meshes before, and we created animation inside Unreal Engine before, but this time we're going to import an animated 3D model. And also we're going to see how we can insert animated characters, and how we're going to do also an introduction of how it's possible to animate characters directly in Unreal Engine. Now I'm going to use render people here. I'm going to download. You can see we have files for 3ds Max, Cinema 4D, Maya, Unreal Engine 5, Unity, and also we have FBX. So I'm going to try with Unreal Engine 4, but this is again the previous version of the engine. So if it doesn't work, I'm going to go to FBX. Now you can also create your models and your bones, your skeleton system in the software that you're using, whether you're using 3D Studio Max, Cinema 4D, Maya. And if you're interested, you will find courses in 3D Studio Max, Cinema 4D, and Maya, and also showing how to create a simple rigged model. So by rigged means with a skin and a bone system underneath. I'm also gonna use Blender here because it's open source, and you can download it and install it and just create the same exact example. And we're gonna create a really simple animation and then import the object and the animation as a skeletal mesh in Unreal Engine. So I'm just gonna go here and create a cube. And if you're interested in a Blender video course, by the way, you will find it also in the channel. So I'm just gonna create a simple cube and just create something that can be used like a platform. So my character can jump on it in a kind of a game situation, a video game. And again, just a simple example. So I'm going to create a cube, and this is a mesh right now. You can see it in the right side in the objects panel. And now we're going to create just a single standard and simple animation real quick. So I'm going to go down there on the timeline. I'm going to activate the auto keyframe, So auto keyframe means that I can move around my object and it's gonna record everything I'm gonna do. So if I bring this up, you can see this is now the final part of my animation. And then I can bring it down again and it's gonna be my starting point. So you can see everything has been recorded. So I need to change time, space to create an animation. I need at least 2 keyframes. And again, if you're interested in animation, you will find it in the Blender video course. I'm gonna export now in FBX format, and I'm going to name this platform just, some generic name, and export to use it in Unreal Engine 5. So you can use FBX definitely if you don't find a compatible version of the character. Now I'm gonna go in the render people folder here and I'm gonna extract everything. I'm gonna try first with the Unreal Engine 4 and let's see what's gonna be in here. And if it doesn't work, we can play also with the FBX. So you have these two options basically. Now this is the Unreal Engine 4, but if I go in the properties, the 3D objects is still a, you can see there an FBX format. So I can use an FBX right away. And you can see there is one that is idling and one is probably without an animation. So you can rig it and animate it in Unreal Engine. So you either do the job in the 3D software or you do it in the Unreal Engine editor. So you need to have a bone system, then you can rig it and animate. Now I'm gonna use this top-down game template. And now we understand that we can use Blueprint to do some visual scripting. But if you want, if you are more expert, you can also use C++. If you are a programmer or if you want to learn how to use a programming language, you can use the C++ instead of the Blueprint. But Blueprint you saw, they are really intuitive and easy to use. We saw in the other videos how we can then generate interaction and so on. Now we're also going to talk about ray tracing later, which is kind of an advanced rendering that we can do with our scenes. It's a little bit more advanced, but also heavier to render. Now let's press simulate and let's see what this top down is looking like. So I'm just having a character here, and if I click around, the character is going to move around inside the scene. So what I'm going to do also later is I'm going to substitute that character with another character, the one that I want to import or that I want to choose, and not the standard characters that we have here. Now I'm going to create here a new folder, and I'm going to call this Skeletal Mesh. This is where I'm going to import my first piece, which is going to be my platform FBX. So I'm going to navigate into the folder where I saved it and then import just as a standard FBX and import it into my Skeletal Mesh folder. And you can see we have a bunch of panels here. And since I've exported the whole scene, well, I don't actually need the light and the camera right now. I'm just going to import the cube, the animated cube, and you can see there you have some options you can check, but right now I'm just going to go forward. Now you can see there isn't any static meshes here. This is empty right now. But if I go in the skeletal mesh panel, you can see now my cube is there. So it has been recognized to be something that is going to be animated, and it's called skeletal mesh. Even though we don't have an actual skeleton made of bones, this is still going to be called skeletal mesh. And also we have other options here for smoothing groups and things like that, but